joined by Artjom Jekimtsev, the CEO of Adverttu. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for joining us. So just starting off with a little fun fact about you guys. Apparently, as you launched your crowdfunding campaign, you received an acquisition offer from a Canadian fund. Is that right?
That's correct. So we received the acquisition interest from the Canadian funds, which was a great news for ourselves, our team, and obviously our current Crowdcube investors and the upcoming Crowdcube investors.
Great. Well, it's good to have that interest. Are you ready to pitch?
Of course.
8 minutes.
Perfect. Well, hello everyone. My name is Artjom and I'm the founder of Adverttu. And at Adverttu, we allow businesses to advertise on private vehicles. And we enable it by creating a fully autonomous advertising platform that connects three parties. Firstly, we connect businesses that are willing to advertise in any particular city or region of the UK. Secondly, we connect private vehicle owners who are willing to rent the commercial space on the side of their vehicle for the purpose of advertising and therefore earn up to £150 a month for doing so, for doing their daily commute. And thirdly, we connect wrapping houses that are physically wrapping vehicles into the advertising message for us. The goal of the company was to make offline advertising as easy, as accessible and as flexible as digital advertising, but in physical form. Therefore, our platforms allows our clients to simulate the upcoming campaign using drivers tracking data, track the existing campaign to see how many impressions each vehicle generates on the road live, or reroute the existing campaign if you think that your campaign can become better or produce better results. So to give you some sort of example from the industry, if you're trying to launch a campaign on Facebook, it's fairly easy. You know how many impressions you will generate. You can clearly see the audience you're going to be targeting. And when you launch the campaign and if you see that it's not performing well, you can go back, you can adjust the campaign and you can see the difference. With out-of-home advertising, it's not really the case. The process itself is fairly long, fairly expensive, and generally traditional media won't be able to give you any impression estimations on how your campaign will perform, and obviously you won't be able to relocate the live buses or tell them to do different routes. So with Adverttu, we're trying to address that. And to clearly show how our process works and visualize the whole thing, let me play you a quick video.
At Adverttu, we give companies the ease, speed, and accuracy of digital advertising in a physical form. That's all done by advertising on a fleet of tracked vehicles. It all starts with a driver downloading the app, going through the registration, and then the app calibration process. This allows our platform to understand the driver's daily commute. Information about drivers' daily whereabouts will then be used for calculating impressions, matching them with an advertiser, and allowing drivers to earn up to £150 per month for something they've been doing all along, driving. Advertisers, on the other hand, use our web platform to pick where their brand message is to be seen, how many vehicles will be used, and how long the campaign is to run for. Our platform will simulate the upcoming advertising campaign, projecting the estimated impressions and concentration points using real-life drivers' data. This ensures that the client is aware of the projected results before committing to launch. Then we get it all moving. The client will see how the campaign is going, the reach, and the impressions each vehicle has made. Clients may initially request that their campaigns focus on specific geographical locations and can be sure that they're getting impressions exactly where their audience is. They can also relocate their fleet as the campaign progresses.
Right, and we generate our revenue through the direct B2B sales and agency referral model, which allows us to tap into the 1.2 billion out-of-home advertising market in the UK. And we're planning our international expansions through the franchise-based licensing model, which will allow us to tap into the 34 billion worldwide out-of-home advertising market. I'm the ex-Tesla with previous startup experience. Our CTO, Jason, is the fellow from Silicon Valley with over 10 years of experience as a full-stack engineer, AI engineer, and a CTO. And he holds two B2B exits. Valeria brings the media buying and selling experience from Juliet Stern, and John brings 20 years of media experience, 15 years of tech experience, and impressive 6 previous exits. We launched our beta product in June 2018, and since then we saw a consistent 23.5 month-on-month organic growth in terms of driver acquisitions. We're launching our full product next month, and we already have significant partners on board to support our journey. At the moment, we are raising £150,000, which you can find on Crowdcube. That money is going to be supporting our marketing and business development, and £150,000 will allow us to launch 20 campaigns in the next 12 months and achieve 1.1 million in revenue, and we will also become profitable. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Good pitch. Eddie, questions?
So, I mean, I really like this type of disruptive play, and it reminds you hear this term Uberization.
Right, yeah.
So what you're doing is, so Uber took private cars and repurposed them as taxis.
Yeah.
Effectively. You're taking private cars and repurposing them as offline advertising or billboards, right?
Correct, yeah.
So I think it's really interesting because it unlocks a complete new market, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's kind of genuinely disruptive. But to the offline advertiser, what you haven't said is what's your proposition compared to existing offline? So are you cheaper, more expensive, more effective? What do you get? What does an offline advertiser get by using your product?
First of all, we are not really competing on price, although we are 30% cheaper than the general traditional out-of-home media. The key here is to allow SMEs to launch out-of-home advertising campaigns with the same ease as they would launch digital campaigns, right? So to give you some sort of perspective, as an advertiser, it's a fairly, as I mentioned, it's a fairly long process to go to the out-of-home advertising agency, set up all the campaigns, pay the upfront and launch it. With us, it's fairly simple. You go on the platform and you can select, for example, I want to advertise in southeast of London. I select only 3 boroughs and I want 50 vehicles for 6 months of black colour of a medium size. And what you do, you press simulate button, right? And our platform takes the calibration information from every single driver, plots it onto the map, creates the heat maps, and shows the concentration points of where your drivers are going to be in the next 6 months. And therefore, it shows you how many impressions your campaign will generate before you actually put the money on the table. Right? And then during your live campaign, if you see that it's not performing well, you can actually, through the same platform, you can incentivize your drivers to take different routes or, for example, concentrate them at a certain location. So, for example, if you are advertising a particular, ticketing service, and you know there's going to be a huge event tomorrow in London at the O2, you can concentrate your fleet of 50 vehicles at one location from 7 till 9, when the audience is actually going to be going into the cinema or into the show. Right, so you can actually concentrate the impact at one location.
So your use of data must be quite high.
Oh yeah,
in terms
absolutely.
of an AI, I guess.
Yes.
So what kind of things are you doing with data that might be new in offline, or are you doing new things?
Well, at the moment we're still concentrating on the very basis, right? The foundation, we try to build a foundation. So yes, we are using a lot of data to calculate the number of impressions, to calculate the optimal route for our drivers, but the same data can be applied for many different purposes in the future, such as decision making in the out-of-home advertising industry, campaign creation for the out-of-home advertising agencies. We can start creating the high precision mapping for autonomous vehicles, and we can also utilize this data for creation of the road infrastructure for the smart cities, for cities of tomorrow.
I think it's a fantastic idea. And in terms of the drivers, will the ads damage their cars in any way, or how does that work?
Absolutely not, no. So there is a double purpose for the wrapping. So the wrapping itself actually protects the paint of the vehicle and generates some passive income for the driver. And to give you some sort of perspective, the driver can earn £150 a month. Your average leasing on a Ford Fiesta is £99 a month, and you still have £51 for petrol per month. It's a no-brainer.
Are you going to modify the driver's route, though? Does the driver just drive passively, go to school, whatever they do,
Yes, so we have different drivers, as you can imagine. So not everyone can do 10,000 miles a year, right? So during the initial calibration step that the driver does through the app, they fall into 3 different buckets. So they can fall into the shoppers. They do about 5,000 miles a year. They usually ferry children to school on the weekends. They do their weekly shops, so not a lot of driving. Then we have our commuters who do the point A to point B on a daily basis. Those do about 10,000 miles a year. And then we have our professionals who do over 10,000 miles a year. And obviously your earning per mile will depend on the regions that you're covering, the amount of impressions your vehicle generates, the size of the car, the size of the wrap, etc., etc. But your app will actually tell you which routes we prefer you to take. So we are not pushing you into taking those routes. We incentivize you with money.
It'd be great if you could get Uber on board. on board? You know?
There are certain regulations. We
Yeah.
cannot really advertise on PHVs in the UK
Alright.
yet. But yeah, there are other opportunities in other markets as well. And therefore, we are promoting our franchise-based model, and we are actively expanding.
Are there any, so Uber's had some issues around regulation, transport regulation
Correct.
and so on.
Yeah.
Do you have anything like that, or does that not apply to you?
Absolutely not. No, there are no issues on the
There's no
regulation.
issues on putting a banner on the side of your car?
No, there is no issue with that. Well, very short answer, there is no problem with that. In the long answer, going into very, very details, I'm happy to answer it over the email to show you exactly the points of why it's okay.
And what are the future plans for Adverttu?
Well, at the moment, we're trying to use the foundation, right, as an advertising, but the goal of the Adverttu is to become the primary advertising medium that owns no media assets, right?
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's a good strapline.
Thank you very much.
Well, where did you get the idea from?
Well, me and my co-founder were just coding away one evening, and the idea came about when we were creating a slightly different platform. It was a peer-to-peer renting platform for your vehicle. So, for example, if you own a car and you're not using it Monday to Friday, only use it on the weekend, you might as well rent it out Monday to Friday, right? There are quite a few platforms out there right now, but back in the days, it was one of the first ones. So when we were trying to develop the website and the platform itself, we thought, how the hell are we going to advertise this platform, right? So the digital space was already overly saturated, and you had to have significant budgets to actually make some buzz on the digital space, and the out-of-home advertising was simply out of reach. So we went out, we rented the car, we wrapped it into the shiny material with our logo in it, we printed a few leaflets, and we went into the central London to attract attention. And we thought there should be a platform that does all of it, but there weren't any. So we decided to reconfigure our existing project and make Adverttu happen.
And did it work for you guys?
Well, most definitely, yes. So far, so good.
Great. Well, thank you very much for joining us on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me.
If you'd like to find out more about Adverttu, you can do so on Crowdcube's website, crowdcube.com.